All right, Israel is gaining momentum on the battlefield in Gaza, cutting the country in half, or cutting Gaza City in half, capturing Hamas commandos and terrorists left and right. Why would they stop? Joining us now is Aaron Cohen, former Israeli counterterrorism operative, and by far our favorite prince. Aaron, thank you. Why would they stop? They're doing very well. It reads well. I know war is hell. I know there are costs of war. One of the articles we cited before says actually the costs of this war are rather small. Israel has done a great job trying to be precise. But, Aaron, why should Israel stop?
There's no reason for Israel to stop, Larry, and thanks for having me back. Always a pleasure. There's a combat rhythm right now that can't be broken. That combat rhythm sets an operational tone, the focus being on cutting down the heads of Hamas. As you mentioned, Gaza is completely surrounded. Gaza City, it's been broken into two pieces. Israel has all of the Hamas terrorists that perpetrated that October 7th attack that weren't killed by IDF special ops responding to Kibbutz Be'eri and all those regions in the south. You know, they're singing like parakeets, Larry. Israel's got an entire layout of that tunnel system now, and what they're doing systematically is they're chopping off the heads of these snakes for the purpose of being able to get those hostages. The reason why is Israel's got no problem with a ceasefire. Where's our hostages? Bring them back.
Yeah.
Let's get our 220 hostages, and we'll talk Turkey. We can sit down and we can talk about realistic deliverables, which you so eloquently outlined in your final thoughts there with your last piece. But I'm going to say this. The Palestinians have a golden angel, and that golden angel in Hebrew is called Sheldag. And Sheldag is one of 3 Tier 1 special operations units that are the quarterback, if you will. If you took Russell Wilson and Tom Brady and turned them into a commando, I give you Israel's joint or JTAC commando unit, and that's the unit that are trained to FAA grade standards. These are federal grade aviation administration controllers who are on the ground providing JTAC or selective pinpointing of every one of those munitions that are hitting those buildings. And those units right now are responsible and are the MVPs of these forward operations. And the reason why is because they can put a missile on the 3rd hair of a Georgia pine nut at the top of a tree, reducing risk and with the highest degree of selectivity to civilians. And keep in mind, October 21st, over 450 aid trucks were allowed in by Israel on the Egyptian side. Keep in mind that over 700,000 Palestinians have been moved to the south safely. The ones who are hanging out, which is less than 30%, are being held against their will or are choosing to stay after millions of leaflets have been dropped. This unit is the Golden Angel, which will pull an op mid-flight in order if they see a child running across the street. And so there's a ton of misinformation out there, and I'm here to clear the picture and set the record straight.
Well, listen.
They do this at the risk to their own commandos, the IDF, in order to assure selectivity.
That's what this fellow said, who wrote this piece. He runs an NGO. He actually looks at data, and he says Israel has been incredibly precise. Prioritization of civilian protection among challenging circumstances, my God. He said the Israelis are literally giving their lives to protect Palestinian civilians. He said such an act is simply extraordinary in the history of human civilization. His name is Daniel Pomerantz. I don't know if you know him or not. He teaches school in Israel. He runs a nonprofit NGO, and he uses data points. And he said even if you believe what Hamas is saying, which probably no one should believe, but they're saying at the moment, 10,000 have been killed, 11,000 Israeli attacks since beginning October 7th. That's less than one person per attack. I mean, look, war is hell. I get that. Nobody likes this, but it's a just war, and these are the costs of war. And Israel is keeping those costs very low, despite the fact that certain people in this country won't acknowledge it.
That's right. We and the IDF just took out Wael Saif. Wael Saif was one of the architects, one of the senior level architects of the October 7th massacre. He was taken out along with dozens of other terror leaders who were responsible for that October 7th massacre. The Israeli Air Force and the Sheldag unit, by the way, which was founded by Mookie Betzer, the co-operational team leader of the Entebbe raid. That unit was spawned from Seret Matkal, the General Staff Reconnaissance units. I'm telling you, these commandos are the quarterbacks of these operations. And we have special ops troops who are about to start going, building by building, Larry, to great risk to those units. So there's a lot of caution that's taken right now. But regarding Hamas and regarding the propaganda, it's nonsense. We've seen all the nonsense videos that have been floating out there. Actors and fake people jumping into these scenes to get footage and then putting it out to the media. And you've got BBC reporting out without any confirmation. This nonsense. People know it. Again, I don't have to sell this to you, Larry. I don't have to sell it to any of your audience here. But the fact is that the amount of selectivity and risk to the IDF in order to assure the highest level of safety for the Palestinian people is unheard of by any other military in the world. And any other country would have turned Gaza into a lake by now, but Israel won't do that. We care about the Palestinians. They matter to us, and they're good people, and we're going to save every one of them. But you know what? Your ceasefire is coming. Where's Israel's hostages?
Yeah, that's the key point. And nobody should force them to do otherwise. Aaron
Larry,
Cohen.
we're going to get him. Hey, we're going to get him either way. 10 yards
are.
at a time. That's how we're going to move the ball.
Aaron Cohen, I'm happy to be on that team. Aaron Cohen, a prince, always. Thanks so much.